Welcome to a special edition of the Mexican Soccer Show Express. I am Wiso from FoodMexSource.com. As you can see, not in the normal Mexican Soccer Show studios. I'm actually traveling along here in the United States, but didn't want to miss this special Super Clasico show today. We're gonna have a lot of fun. 15, 20 minutes to talk about what's happening in the weekend, especially with the Super Clasico. So we'll go ahead and get started. For the many of you that are already following us on the chat and on Twitter, jump on right now. Let's go say who we have on our show. Our experts for tonight, Mr. Tom Marshall, who is in Guadalajara. How's it going, Tom?
It's going good, yeah. Looking forward to Sunday's big game. Should be fun. Tickets selling pretty fast. It's going to be completely sold out. So yeah, we're looking forward to it.
All right, and if we also have Mr. Johnny Rico, who has no bias in this debate at all. I mean, in this show today, he's being objective, making sure that he's saying sound things about both teams, but has the America jersey. Johnny, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Getting excited for Sunday. I already know the end result of that game, but still gonna be fun to watch.
How do you know it?
Johnny.
Chivas victory.
And today we're gonna do a little something a little different. Is inviting some fans. We tweeted out a couple days ago if there are any die-hard fans for either Chivas and America, and during International Women's Day actually. And our first fan that said raise her hand is with us now. And a funny story. Before I introduce her, I want you to know how big of an America fan she is, or maybe this had nothing to do why, but this is a quick little story. I'm looking for her name, and she sends me an email. I see her Twitter, I see her even handle name, and I'm like, man, you're a diehard America fan. Like you have everything named America. What's your real name? And she says, my name is America. So, without further ado, welcome America.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here tonight.
We'll go a little bit about.
Did your parents call you America, or did you change your name by like government deed or something afterwards?
No, I've been America since birth, so it's on my birth certificate.
Are your parents Americanistas?
Yes, they are. Funny
man.
story is that my parents had a little girl, and her name was America when they used to live in Mexico City, but she unfortunately passed away. And when I was born, they actually thought I was going to be a boy, so they were going to name me like my dad, Fernando. But I came out as a girl, and they were like, "Oh, okay, so America Fernanda." So that's my name.
Well, that's a great story, and maybe we should have your parents on as Americanistas. We should have them on. But there's the Americas. We also wanted to have a Chivas fan, and you know what? I'll say we had a couple of Chivas fans that couldn't make the show today and struggling at the last minute. So I thought of my good friend Richard. You might know him as Guelito on Twitter. He's also the colonel of Pancho Villa's army. But first, a Chivas fan. Richard, how's it going, sir? Thank you for jumping on.
Thank you very much for having me on the show, guys.
Yes. So that's it. We have a Chivas fan, an America fan, America. Then we have Johnny, which we all know, as the America fan of our show. And then you know what? We have Tom, who lives in Guadalajara. So I figured this is a very balanced show, and since it feels like everyone's talking about the debates, we might just have to have this format as a debate tonight. So you have a couple of talking points. If you do hear the beep after 30 seconds, please respect it. Don't talk over other. I'm just joking. We'll just have fun. We'll have fun tonight. But saying hi to everybody else right now that is on the chat. David Copeland, Mr. Alexis Medina, and Cesar. Who said, hey man, I should have been on there as the America. So we should have fun. We have fun today. So let's go ahead and get started. First, we heard a little bit about America, how you became a fan, but still, throughout your childhood, how we've always cheered for America, and I know that in your Twitter profile it's all about America, but that just came from I would think family, or just kind of you.
Yeah, actually, my dad's been an Americanista since he was a kid. And my mom always liked America. So when they got together, they were just kind of like, oh, okay, so we're two America fans. And I've been watching since 2004. So that's like 12 years now.
Well, there you go. All right, it's a nice. I would say as an America fan, a great way to start in 2004. Not so many Chivas championships like they have in the past.
Oh man,
Welly,
man, 2004 is a great time to start. I had to go through the entire 90s, a 13-year sequía. That was rough.
Yeah.
and to be fair, Mr. Guelito, tell me about your Chivas as a Chivas fan. Did this come? Did you switch over from another team? How did you become a Chivas fan?
Not at all, not at all. Well, again, guys, thank you very much. Well, I grew up in Southern California, and funny story is my dad hates soccer. He absolutely hates it with a passion. My mom doesn't know what's going on, but I got turned on to soccer with my uncle. My uncle played soccer in local rec leagues, and every time we would go to his house, on the weekends, he would always have it on. And he followed the two biggest clubs, which is America and Chivas. And at that particular time, he followed Chivas at the time because Chivas was pretty successful. So I got turned. That's how I got turned on to Chivas. Through my uncle's side.
All right. Your hate for America to America. I mean, because there's some pretty. If I would have to talk about rivalries, this is one of those rivalries that no matter what, they want to see the other team suffer. And I've gotten into conversations, but in a scale of 1, as I would like him to lose, and 10, I'd rather have Chivas win one championship than have Mexico win ever. How big of a Chivas fan are you, Richard?
Yeah, I'm a huge Chivas fan. I've done everything. I mean, I wear different jerseys every time they play. Did they win when I was wearing this particular jersey? Did I wash it? Did I not wash it? Was I watching it in my bedroom? Was I watching the living room? What happened that particular day? And whenever they won, I try to repeat it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work that way. So, but I tried all kinds of different recipes and different methods to kind of help my team win, and it just I don't know, it just doesn't work.
So the superstition, I like that. The fact that
Yes.
you try to mimic that if they win again. So whatever didn't work last year for the Copa MX obviously didn't work this year because as of yesterday.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
got it.
Absolutely.
And then America, for you, I mean, are you this like die-hard, Americanista, like flat out, doesn't matter if Chivas gets one win, in the it's just horrible for you. I mean, how big are you as a fan?
I consider myself an Americanista. I worry about my team. I don't tend to worry about the other team. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I'm a Chivas fan because I hate America. And I'm just like, so are you really a Chivas fan? I mean, let's be real here. So I consider myself very Americanista. I'll take America over Selección. That's how much
There
of an
we go.
Americanista I am.
There you go. And it's usually the Americanistas who do that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about this because it's a very, very important subject. Obviously, the Clásico Nacional is coming on Sunday. But before we talk to Tom and Johnny, one last question to you fans. Do you feel like this is, the same Clásico that we've been seeing before, the heated, when you turn on the TV, you already start a week talking and players are getting, already tweeting or talking about it in the media. I mean, this is the whole country's watching. As far as, all the excitement before a Clásico, do you feel like that's happening right now within the America and Chivas team? And Huelito, if you want to answer, or...
Yeah, I mean, I think as a fan, I mean, it always is. We've got a chat of friends that just follow football, and all we do is we just go back and forth. Chivas, America, Chivas, America, Chivas. It's just we're constantly going at it back and forth. I think, to be honest, from my point of view, I like to try to be open, but I really think that for a Chivas fan, we have that tradition that we have the only Mexican-born players. I mean, I think that's something that we're really, really proud of, and that we try to keep, that we really hold dear to our hearts, and especially right now that Chivas is struggling, there's been talk like, do we move away from the Mexican-only born players, and do we start bringing, anybody else to help us win? But that is something that we really hold dear to our hearts, and and again, I've never been an Americanista. I've never rooted for America. I don't think I've ever have. I don't think I ever will. But it's hard for me to kind of, I don't understand why they would root for that particular team. To me, they're the New York Yankees of. To me, they're the New York Yankees of football. It's just, hey, money's going to buy the best player. You're going to bring the best player, and granted, hands down, they do have some solid players. They've always been able to put together some great teams. Chivas, on the other hand, tries to use their foundation, their fuerzas básicas, and bring players up. And a lot of times I think people forget where Chicharito came from, where Carlos Velas came from, where a lot of these stars that are out there came from Chivas. They're Mexican-born players. They were bred in Chivas. So a lot of times we tend to forget that, and that's something that we hold dear to our hearts. At least
That's
dear to mine.
great answer. I know, Johnny, you're dying to answer, but I'm not gonna let you. But I'm gonna keep it to fan based, and I'm gonna go with America because he did call you out that how could you root for that team, and
I don't think she had much choice.
your response.
She didn't have much choice after her parents named her America.
I did. I actually know a girl named America who roots for Chivas. So I think she's a disgrace to her family. I would call my kids that.
Well, there it is, guys. Obviously, it's still heated, and for you guys fans. But let's talk to Johnny and Tom. Tom, what can you tell us about this game? Especially last week, I think a lot of people with the Clasico Regio were saying, this is more the Super Clasico as far as talent, as far as excitement. And, I mean, it was good. It wasn't what a lot of people were expecting. But as far as a Monterrey rivalry at the games, the fans, it's looking to be the Clasico Regio is kind of taking a little bit over as far as just the competitiveness of the game because of Chivas and the struggles and the descenso, they're in the danger and they're flirting with. But to you, Tom, tell me about this game, the importance, and then obviously you're in Guadalajara. What else you can tell us about the Clásico?
No, I mean the thing is in Guadalajara when Chivas play Atlas, it's like this. It's the same. You could even make the argument that there's more passion involved for people in Guadalajara. But the only way of understanding the Clásico between Chivas and America is that it's national. So you'll have people in Ciudad Juarez, all the bars will be full. There'll be people watching, there'll be carne asadas, Veracruz, Acapulco, Tuxtla Gutierrez. You can go to any corner of Mexico and they'll be watching this game on Sunday. And that's the difference. And it's only Chivas and only America that draw that crowd. So the Clásico Regio, for me, in terms of quality, it's better. It's by quite a bit. But that's a very regional thing. It's very Nuevo León and Monterrey. So that's how you got to understand this Clásico. Now, it was pretty interesting actually. On Tuesday night, I went to see a talk by a few ex-Chivas players, Benjamin Galindo, Snoopy Perez, and Fernando Quirarte. And it was interesting. I think Snoopy Perez was like, back in the 80s, this Clásico was there was so much more fire to it. There was those brawls back in the 80s, and the famous footage that always comes out. And he's saying these days it's not quite the same. And it's like, I think football's changed with the money involved and all this kind of thing. But I think the point, and Welito's not going to like it. I think what the Clásico needs is a great game. It's going to be a great game on Sunday, and it's difficult to predict. I mean, I think America's slight favourites, but it's not easy to say. But I think what this Clásico needs is Chivas to be up there fighting for titles.
Yeah.
So then you can say, this really is a Super Clásico. You know what I mean? Because you've got two teams that are up there right at the top of the league fighting it out, and arguably the two best teams. And right now we don't have that. Right now we've got one team who's up there fighting in the CONCACAF Champions League, fighting for titles, reaching finals in the Liga MX. And you've got another team, Chivas, who are, their main concern has been relegation. So I think it does take a little bit away from the game.
Johnny, having a rival, a good rival, makes you, a lot of people have said, makes you a better team, especially if you beat that team. To you, Chivas, like we're talking about, we know that they're struggling. Even though the possibility of going, descend, it's probably not going to happen since we know Dorados. I mean, it's almost mathematically possible that they're going to go down. But the fact that Chivas isn't at its top game, to you, Johnny, not to say that as an America fan you wouldn't want them to be better, but do you agree with if Chivas is better and you beat Chivas as a better team, it feels a little bit better, or is it all times regardless? Once you beat once America beats Chivas, it's all good for Americanistas.
No, here's the thing. Sport is a competition to prove your superiority over your rival. And when it's your main rival, all that matters is you humiliate them. If Chivas come in fighting to not be relegated, we as an America fan, we don't want Chivas fighting for a title to put on a great show so everybody gets entertained. We as Americanistas want America to win, to prove how superior they are, and to crush Chivas as far down as possible. That's the whole point of a competition.
But if you crush them
superior you are.
as far as possible, you might not have those games again. You'd be okay with Chivas staying in the second division and never having a Super Clasico ever again.
Yes, completely. Chivas, yes.
Qué face.
I'm
just saying.
Here's the backbone of Americanistas. America is the most superior club in all of Mexico, and to have the team with 10 titles like Chivas stuck in the second division, that's a statement.
11.
11, yeah.
Johnny, about specifically about this game on Sunday. The rivalry is totally different. We've seen in the past there could be a bad America and then wins, or a bad Chivas and then makes a win. Do you take past performances in the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, Chivas barely getting one win, losing against Dorados, losing yesterday, getting out? Do you think that'll affect this coming up Sunday, the Super Clasico, as an Americanista, or do you think it should be a walkthrough if you're comparing the teams in the last 10 weeks of performance?
So I think current form has a lot to do with the way the game will be. I don't think past Clásicos will factor in, but I do think the way the teams come into this, I think the form, the confidence that Darwin Quintero has picked up scoring goals. Oribe Peralta has also kind of turned on recently, scoring goals. So that's going to play a huge factor. Chivas' confidence level, that the fact that their confidence level is so low is just going to add pressure to them. So I think that's where the balance tilts on America's favor, and I think it will be reflected in the game.
Richard, to you, you're at the lowest of the lows, and it's we've seen, and I guess not the lowest. You can go lower, but we've seen Chivas. For example, the game yesterday. You're dominating, you're scoring, and I know I don't want to say it's all luck, but there's some games that Chivas should have won in this week this last 2 months with Almeida, and it's just not happening. What do you see? What hope do you see as a Chivas fan going into the game on Sunday? And how confident are you that you can pull off maybe an upset? And how big would it be if there is a win?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident that. Again, I think that for a Chivas player to wear the Chivas uniform, it's a badge of honor. I know that nothing to take away from the America players, great players that they've got, but I think that when you're put on the Chivas a badge, you're playing for your country. You're almost playing for the country, and I think that the Chivas players come to play harder, or even put in more effort than the America fans in those particular games. I believe last year Chivas won, and Chivas beat America, and clearly America was the better team. Was it was it a draw? Was it the year before? Okay, well, if America was clearly a better team, why didn't they just smash Chivas? I just think that inside, you've got great players. You got Peralta, Sambuesa. You've got all these great players, but I don't think they're going to be professionals. They're going to come out. They're going to play hard. But I think the Chivas players come up to the game a little bit better. They prepare better. They know that there's a lot at stake. You might not make to La Liguilla, but you better win that Clasico. That's what they play for. Whether they can lose every single game of the year, they need to win that Clasico. And I think for America players, again, I don't play for them, but I think for them, they have a different goal. Hey, win the title. If they lose to Chivas, okay, it doesn't matter. But as long as they win the title, they've got a different goal. For Chivas players, it's more like if you're not even going to get to the Liguilla, you better win that Clasico. So I think they show up a little bit differently.
America, do you agree with that comment that it's about the title? If you lose to Chivas and win the title, it's okay.
Yeah,
or is
I
this as
completely
much
agree.
as
I mean, I don't feel that the Clasico is what it was 10 years ago. I don't feel that the fans get riled up like they did 10 years ago because of the bad shape that Chivas has been in for the past couple of years. I do feel like the Clasico has, I guess, like lowered in value. I don't feel that it is what it was. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'll take a title. Don't really care about the win. Like that game, I mean, it's a good game and everything, but if at the end of the season we win, but we didn't beat Chivas, I am perfectly okay with that. I don't have a problem. Like winning a Clasico is not going to give you a title. It's going to give you 3 points, 3 valuable points, and I guess like it does give you the badge of honor, but it doesn't take you to the final to win.
el
That's
clásico
the difference
devaluado?
between us.
El clásico devaluado, Tom. I, I mean, who? And I ask you this question because it's really interesting. If just like America just said, if America loses, all right, it's just a lost game. We'll regain. If Chivas loses, do they have much more to lose? And can we see maybe more heat towards Almeida in this game? How much bigger is it for Chivas than it is to America, Tom?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure it is. I think for both teams there is a lot on it. I mean, I think America's completely right, but I think the same would go for Chivas. I think Chivas would, they'd prefer to win the title and lose this game, because then they'd level America on titles, and they'd be delighted with that. But Chivas aren't in their position to challenge for a title. I think that's the point. But yeah, who's under most pressure? I don't know, because America is constant pressure. I mean, America, they won, what was it, last weekend, Morelia, Cuauhtemoc Blanco, big party in the Azteca. But then the week before, I believe they lost, no? 4-0 against Monterrey. So Ambriz, even with a couple of good results, I don't think he's completely settled and as the head coach. I think America have messed up in big games under Ambriz. You look at the Club World Cup, you look at that game in the Liguilla against Pumas, you look at the games against Tigres this season and Pachuca. They've lost all those 3 games I mentioned by 3 goals. I mean, they found a way to really bottle it on big games. And I think Nacho Ambriz, he has to prove that he can lead this America team, in on the biggest occasion. And so far he's not done that. So I think he's got a lot to prove. Now Almeida, he's just got a lot to prove in every game now, because Chivas have won two games in the last 15 in the league. That's abysmal. That's relegation form. If you're in a normal league, that is relegation. So Almeida, the weird thing at Chivas at the minute with Almeida is that Vergara is just backing him, and he's just like kind of, despite the results. I mean, other managers have been sacked for less than Almeida, and I know that people like his attacking style, but I think they've scored 2 goals in a game only once over the last 11, 12 games. I mean, this isn't a team that's scoring a lot of goals. So Almeida, I think they're going to stick with him unless America, win 4-5-0. I think they're going to. I mean, Vergara appeared on ESPN with Comex Masters, and they were playing Futbolito. Him and Almeida and Vergara were playing Futbolito on the TV. So he's wedded to Almeida. Vergara, I don't think he's going to let him go. So Chivas just could do with a win just because the situation's pretty dire. Whereas I think America, the fans always expect. I mean, that is what, for me, being an America fan is. You've got to perform at every stage. There is no let up.
Interesting to see, especially with the pressure. Johnny, as far as head-to-head, it's not like overall historically America is this great team against what Chivas has. And you've seen it. You said it earlier when we came on today that you grew up through the horrible 90s and you've seen what happened with no titles. But as far as a local, the numbers I think favor Chivas on a head-to-head. And does that kind of play into what's happening now? I know you said it doesn't matter, but at the same time, how big or more? It's a 100th anniversary for America, and I know America, our fan here, said that to you, it's another game, but to you, is it just another game? And losing a Clasico on your 100th anniversary would be
Well,
a little embarrassing, I think.
well, let's keep in mind that the 100th anniversary is not this season; it'll be during the Apertura 2016. So that's one thing to consider. But no, losing to Chivas, that would really suck. but you know, an America fan can get over it by winning the title.
Hmm.
The 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 whole point, the essence of an Americanista is to celebrate championships. And you know, we make fun of other teams for this very reason. That other teams celebrate one game victories. If they beat America, if Chivas beats America, that's the highlight of their season. That is the best they can hope for in this season. If America beats Chivas, that's just business as usual. That's an expectation met. That's the players doing their job. Um,
Hmm.
the real expectation is bringing home that trophy. So yeah, it would suck to lose to Chivas because the players did not get their job done. But you know, this you can still there's still more hope for us in life than this one game.
All right.
I
Well, in
completely
total,
agree.
in total de encuentros, for either team, it is America who's got more, 78 to Guadalajara 72, and 69 ties. A little bit of history. The first time that they faced each other is in 1943 in the Copa Mexico. The last time they faced was September 26th of last year, where Guadalajara did beat
Chivas 2-1.
America. Yeah, 2-1. So, looking at least past it, Chivas is, I think, looking at as far as they still haven't gotten a win. We'll see where that goes. But máximas goleadas, 7-2. America beat Guadalajara 1944. And for Chivas, 7-0 in 1956. So, obviously the rivalry is there. But we are towards the end of our show, and I can't let you go. Before I get some type of commitment, some type of prediction from you guys. But before we leave, Richard, you'll have the last because your team's doing worse. Before we go into predictions, what else do you want to say? You have the floor to get your Chivas fans, give them some type of hope, for this game on Sunday.
I think. Well, thank you very much, Luis. I think we're pretty confident that we can come in and win this game. I mean, like I said, we're going to show up, we're going to play. But I do want to point one thing out, which I pointed out in every single Mexican soccer show that I've seen, is I think Johnny is a closet Chivas fan because his curtains back there are red and white
It's
in the
burgundy.
background. So I'm just saying, just throwing that
It's
out there.
burgundy.
It's red. It looks red to
Hey,
me, red and white.
it does look suspicious, Johnny. It does look
Johnny.
suspicious.
I didn't choose the decor, but it is burgundy.
I don't know. I think it's suspicious, me.
All right,
You know, somebody needs an HD screen.
let's start with America. What? Let's make it a little interesting. Let's do maybe a little bet or something.
Okay.
Wilito and Richard and America. Tom, I think maybe we should decide. What do you think? Maybe changing the avatar for of your Twitter to the other person's whatever they want. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, as long as it's legal and.
So I think that's a good one for let's do for a full week. So if
Sounds good. I wore the
America,
Chivas jersey for a full week before, so I mean,
America-
on my
Who would,
team.
who would they want to wear Chivas jersey for a full week? I know why you.
Americanista.
Keep that aside.
So just to be clear, if America wins, Richard, you're gonna change your avatar profile on your Twitter to whatever America wants. It could be Chivas suck or America. I love America or something. So you're gonna have to come up with something, America, and then obviously vice versa. If Chivas wins, Richard, you get to pick America's Twitter handle picture for the full week until the following Sunday. Agree?
Agree.
I'm good.
If you tie, you both get to wear Leons. So,
Oh God.
okay, maybe
All
I
right.
got a little bit ahead on that one. All right, so let's go into predictions. America, what happens? What's the score line? Who wins?
I think that we win, obviously. I think it'll be a valuable 3 points because we haven't performed that well. We've been getting a lot of red cards, so we do have a lot to prove. And I think that Chivas, honestly, they need to just stay up. So I think they're more at a loss here. But I do think that America wins 2-0.
2-0. All right, there we go. Richard,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go out on the limb right here and say that it's gonna be a tie. I'm calling for a tie.
Nice. How's that for hope?
I do want to mention that I do think it'll be a really good game because, like I said, America's been getting a lot of red cards. Betis has a lot to prove, and Chivas just got their first win, so that was crucial for them. That's going to be like a big pick me up, for them, and I do think they're going to put a little bit more pump in their step. So I do think that it's going to be a really good game. I do expect a very good game out of both of them, honestly.
What I'm excited to see is 1 week after taking the captain's armband from the hands of Cuauhtemoc Blanco, Ruben Sambuesa is just going to be pumped for this game. So, yeah, it's going to be, I'm saying 3-0.
Chivas?
3-0 America.
Okay, 3-0 America for Johnny.
Multiple assists for Sambuesa.
And then Mr. Tom Marshall. Prediction what?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 America. And the reason for that is I think America's what America the person is said is right. I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't think Chivas is going to back out. I think both teams are going to go at each other. I think it's going to be very attacking. And I think the difference is going to be in that final third. I think we've seen Darwin Quintero, like Johnny mentioned before, just find that old Santos Laguna form. I think Peralta's playing pretty well. And you look at Chivas, and I'm looking at Omar Bravo, who started the last game on the bench. I don't see the same firepower up front. I think something else worth pointing out. I don't think it's actually going to matter in the game, but it's not been an ideal preparation for Chivas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you had reports coming out that Gullit Peña turned up to training drunk, smelling of alcohol in his breath. Whether he did or not, I don't know. I mean, those are allegations, but the fact is, you look at the papers in Guadalajara, it's all over, you know what I mean? Front page, like, Gullit Peña's doing this, Gullit Peña's doing that. And then you look at the problems that, Almeida's had, like I said, with players like Omar Bravo, Gullit Peña, Antonio Rodriguez, and I don't know. It's just it's difficult to see. I would also say Rodolfo Cota, the goalkeeper for Chivas. For me, it's a massive game for him. He's never played in a game this important. He's 28 years old, but he's never been at this absolute big time. So he's got to come out big. He's playing well, but for me, if he has a really big game, that's where Chivas can have a good chance.
Well, there it is from our experts and obviously fan. For me, preparation's been horrible for Chivas. They didn't, they just lost the Copa. But I think that's going to be motivation, finally, because I've always felt that the players need something. I think this motivates them, and we saw last year in the last game that we saw. So I'm thinking, I think it's going to be a good game, and it's also going to be. I think I put in my predictions for that we had a tie. But you know what? I'm going to change it. I'm going to go Chivas win. I mean, the only one on the show to say it's just because
a little too confident there. I think
I'm not confident. I just think that it's I got to throw it out there.
I mean, Richard doesn't even think his team's gonna win. So I mean, but
I think this will finally motivate.
What we're gonna do to Weasel if Chivas don't?
No.
Seriously, I think he's gonna the bet.
I'm at least throwing something out for Chivas. It's. We'll see where our prediction contest and who got more stars, Johnny. Then I will see. All right, guys. We went 30 minutes. I hope you all enjoyed. This rivalry special. Always good to have the fans on. I want to thank America for coming on. It takes really certain persons to come on and really talk about their team. So thank you so much, America. I know you're on Twitter. Where can people follow you?
They can follow me on _AmericaG on Twitter.
Meet them. Meet them, Weasel.
There it is. All right, follow her. And then also Mr. Richard, and then some of you might know, is very, very heavily involved with Pancho Villa's Army. Pancho Villas is a dear friend of mine of the show. They're great supporters. I get to see this guy at games all the time. And you know what? Before you go, Juelito, what's going on? Give us an update with PVA really quick in Canada and what's happening before we let you go. Give you this spot.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, we've got a ton of things going on. So we've got Canada coming up. We'll be up there. Hopefully, we get to see you guys up there. Tom, I owe you a drink because Liverpool did beat Man U. So we got you got to drown your sorrows there.
Man
So we'll be
United.
in Canada. We're also going to be in San Diego. Well, hopefully, we see Johnny down there. We can kind of hang out. We're going to be in Atlanta. Game with Atlanta. Those game of preparación. And then we've got Copa America. So we've got tons of games coming up. Tons of pre-parties. Tons of after parties. We just want to create the experience for the soccer fan.
And
And then
where can people find stuff, Walito? If people want tickets and stuff, what's the website or where can they log on?
Absolutely, the best way to find us is on Twitter at Villa's Army. We've also got our website, PanchoVillasArmy.com, and on Facebook, Pancho Villa's Army.
great.
Hey,
Yeah.
give Pancho Villas a message for me. Club over
Okay.
country.
I got you.
Oh,
Hey, you know what?
Johnny.
I think I do have some pictures of Johnny with the Pancho Villa's Army gear.
Yeah.
I went
Uh-huh.
with Pancho Villa to the game
In
last
Houston,
year
right?
here. Yeah, I did. I was on the party bus with them, but I won tickets, so I wasn't able to sit with them. But it was fun. I really had a lot of fun. So hopefully I'll go with this year with them too.
Awesome. So I know how to get the chance. I'll get the chance to stay with you guys at in Canada. So that should
Oh,
be.
and also I'll also be at the Minica game here against Tigres, 26th of
nice.
March. So.
Oh, there you go. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much to the fans, Richard in America. Thank you so much, Johnny, for putting on your America shirt and showing us to letting us know that we will never
Thank
forget
you.
you. It
No
was
trouble. I put
not
on
at all.
this
I mean, so we won't forget that you're a America fan. And then Tom, obviously, thank you so much for bringing all the extras from the field there. You're going. You going to go to the game, Tom?
Yeah. Media day tomorrow at Chivas, so I'll be down there, and then obviously see what the players are saying and Almeida saying about the week, and then obviously Sunday I'll be out there nice and early. I'll be doing quite a bit of Snapchat. I'm going to try and do some more Snapchat. So yeah, follow me on
Awesome.
that.
All right, guys. Well, we'll have all the coverage on all of our Twitters. Definitely give us a follow on the Mexican Soccer Show and on Facebook on what's going on. Food Mex Source will be live tweeting also during the game. Shout out to Mr. Tom Harrison who will be doing that for Food Mex Source. And then also next week on Monday nights, don't forget all our coverage from the Clásico Nacional. There probably should be some talks already on the national team since they'll be playing the following week. So lots and lots to cover. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Continue to, tweet us, ask us questions, and definitely we enjoy all of the banter that happens during this Clásico Nacional on what's happening. Give us your predictions. Right now, tweet away what's going to happen and tag us, and we'll retweet them and keep the conversation alive for this Super Clásico Nacional de Mexico. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, and see you guys all next week.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys.
That's a good
Bye.
thing.